A full plethora of staff up here this morning at Roundwood. What are you on with at the moment?
A little bit of everything, as everybody can imagine. A lot going off. I know probably fans at home will be sat there thinking, what's happening here? But there's a hell of a lot going off. All will be revealed over the next probably 2-3 weeks. I don't want fans to feel anxious or apprehensive at any point. It is what it is, and like I said, I'm really happy where we are. Obviously, staffing's coming together. Player recruitment's going well, even though there's no signs of that from the fans' point of view. But everything's moving in the direction and the speed that I thought it would do, which is pleasing.
More than anything else, before we get on to the serious stuff, Andy Warrington's birthday as well. You've dragged him in for this today.
It is, it's first time he's brought birthday cakes in his career, which is brilliant. I'm well pleased with myself. So yeah, Andy's birthday, I want to wish him happy birthday from myself and all the Millers. I'm sure they'll be quick to pass on their regards. But yeah, I think he's pension age now, so good little number for him.
And you've got a very tanned Richard Wood in the office with you as well. He's just been talking about how he's going to find it so weird being the one in a black shirt rather than a red one moving forward. Is he acclimatising to the role nicely now?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I think like anything. Well, like Woody's been in game all his life, so he kind of knows. But I think obviously walking through that door this morning, he's seen a totally different side to everything else. So it's nothing that he can't deal with. But I think day by day will be a bit of a learning curve for him, and I'm sure he'll take it all on board and it like he has done everything else in his career. But yeah, he's been a big help this morning. Obviously, he's relevant as well. The fact that he's only just come out of his playing, so the targets that we've seen and the recruiting that we're doing is kind of either A, played against them, or B, knows somebody who knows somebody, and that's kind of how recruitment kind of works. So it's not just all about the player, it's about the character, what he's going to bring to the club, and making sure he's part of the puzzle that we're trying to put together.
And I say you've got a full contingent in there. There is one seat that's sat vacant. The assistant manager's role is something you're getting closer to tying up now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we're almost there. Obviously, again, announcements will come out and be announced. But yeah, really pleased, and I'm sure the fans will be pleased when that person comes in, and then we can all move forward and kind of focus on the main thing. Not that we haven't been, but the player recruitment side of things, and obviously me and Andy have been driving that, and Woody's now come on board with that, and obviously when the assistant manager does, I'm sure that'll be announced. But yeah, it'd be good to move in one direction with all that.
And you've got kitchen staff up here, you've got physios, you've got yourselves. Importantly though, on the recruitment side, Rob Scott's been man marking you as well. You're constantly in conversation with him, aren't you, about players currently and players you'd like to bring in? Yeah,
my wife will tell you we spoke a lot on holiday as well. So, but yeah, that's just how it is at this time of year. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things going off. I think the next few weeks a lot more will start happening. I think players are still on holidays and etc. and seeing what options they've had and conversations they've had. And I'm exactly the same. You know, there's things that I could have probably pushed a button on and I haven't, and there's things I'm waiting on. So. I just think that goes with the territory, as I'm reiterating early part of this interview. There's no point getting all anxious and agitated. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show as I'm doing.
They might not be the headlines of the summer business, but you managed to tie a couple of your younger players down as well. It's good to get them wrapped up early and have them through the door and in the building.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, and like, look, I've spoken openly about bringing age at group down a little bit. We're trying to do that with recruitment, and then look, it's down to them now as individual players. I have spoken certainly to yourself, Sam, about look, just because they're young doesn't mean so that I'm just going to give them a chance because they're young. They've got to be good enough, they've got to earn the stripes out here, and they've got to show me and the coaching staff that they're fully ready to go into a League One campaign, and that'll be down to them. If that happens, unbelievable, that's great for the club and myself. If it doesn't, then obviously look down the loan avenue and trying to develop it in other ways, but keeping a close eye on monitoring that.
While you're trying to bring players in from external sources, you're also trying to keep a couple that are already in the building. In terms of contract offers, you're still waiting to hear back from a couple?
Yeah, nothing on that yet. So again, I feel like I'm doing these interviews and kind of keep reiterating myself. There's no kind of deadline on them. We're still 2-3 weeks away from even players returning back to training. So I don't want fans to get carried away, and you know, I don't go on the social media links, so I don't really know what is going on out there. But if it is going on, I get it. Look, I'm a fan myself, and when your club doesn't sign players, you always think, oh, something's going on, or that's definitely not the case. Like I say, I could have signed players in this period already, but I've chosen not to. And I just felt in certain aspects they either didn't fit the criteria or they couldn't do what it was that I were asking. So, but we'll get there, and the right players will come, and then we'll piece together the jigsaw that we're trying to put together at the minute.
And in terms of the lads that you've got deals out on the table for that are Rotherham United players as it stands, will you have to kind of make a decision on those in the coming weeks? A bit like with Hakeem Adoffin, it was a tough one. You had to kind of stick or twist, but ultimately you've got to do what's right for Rotherham United.
100%, yeah. And look, like, I want people who want to be here first and foremost. Every player who comes to the club now will want to be here, and that's important for me. I want them to see the training ground, I want them to see the facilities, I want them to see the stadium, I want them to even get out in the town and kind of have a walk round and see if it's for them. Because look, it ain't for them. And it's like, look, they're football players, but they're also human beings. And if you go into any new job, it's got to be right for you. And if it's not right for them, then it definitely ain't right for me. Because what ends up happening is you sign players, it wasn't what they bought into, or it wasn't what they thought it were going to be. And that's something that I can't facilitate, and I don't want to happen again. So like I said, there's a lot of decision making going into that, not just through myself but through Rob, the chairman, the directors, obviously my staff, the Ross and his staff in there. So there's a lot of decisions that have to come ahead, and then like I said, look, we know we'll get the right ones in.
You said walking around the town, the perfect segue into my next question, which was you were involved in the midnight walk the other day with John Brecken. How was that?
Brilliant, loved it. I thought the atmosphere at the stadium was excellent. Obviously I didn't have my bunny ears on, but everybody else did, so the flashing ears, the orange shirts. Obviously I got up on stage and spoke before the set off for the walk, and stood there and just seeing what it meant to people. Obviously raising money for an amazing cause in the hospice, but people walking for loved ones and relatives, or in the memory, or just because they love the hospice, or the hospice has touched people in the area. So the fact that I think there were over 1,000 people there just was amazing. I got round very quickly with Andy and obviously my wife Kerry, and look, we enjoyed it. We enjoyed the camaraderie, we enjoyed the banter, but fundamentally it's about raising money for the hospice. And if anybody hasn't already donated, it'd be great if they could. I'm sure all links will be advertised somewhere on the club's website. But the fact that we've raised what we have so far is amazing, and I can only thank the community from the bottom of my heart. I know what good work they do at the hospice, but how much that money will go to helping people is amazing.
You have had to have your first managerial chat with Andy Warrington, haven't you? Reprimand him for his behaviour on that walk.
Yeah, we got about 9.8 kilometres in, and we're having a real good walk round. We went at a good pace, to be fair. My wife's only got little legs, so she was trying to keep up with us. But as we got to the finish line, he took off just because he wanted to win the race, which is not what we do here. Like I said, Sam, it's all about sticking together and being through it. So even though it's his birthday, I'm having a bit of a pop at him live to all our fans that he's got to make sure he stays with the group.
And on the subject of John Brecken, I know you don't tune into too much social media these days, but we did an interview recently where he really endorsed your credentials. I mean, coming from someone like him, it's always a real kind of honour to have that bestowed upon you.
Yeah, look, Brex is, I ain't got to say anything about Brex. I've had to Rotherham Public. I always make a joke that he can walk his sheep through the middle of town. So he's a legend of the club, as is Ronnie, as is other people gone before him. But anybody who obviously says nice things about you is amazing. But we need to make sure we're doing it from first game of the season. It's all well and good. And look, I feel prepared, I feel ready. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited about the players that we're looking at and talking to. I'm hoping that we can get them in. If not, we move on. But like I've spoke about from minute one of being in here, I'm not going to get hung up on anything that happens or doesn't happen. I'm a bit of a fatalist, and what's meant to be will be, and no point getting downbeat about anything or too upbeat. That's just kind of who I am. But like I say, I'm excited to be back. I'm excited this group of staff have put together, and I'm excited for the remaining few weeks of my time off, and then the hard work will start, and I can't wait to see players again.
We've said a few times in interviews you're very much your own man, but I think fans will be wondering, will you kind of lean on the likes of John Brecken and Ronnie Moore for opinions here and there, and as a bit of a sounding board between now and whenever the time?
Yeah, I think look, anybody who's been through it or experienced it or done it, you kind of speak to them and you do it your own way. But they've obviously, look, you've seen Brex here quite a lot of times, even from his past time before. Brex sees things certainly in a different light, as my staff see him in a different light to me. Then it's down to me to make an educated decision on the advice that I've got.